Hey everybody.
Hello everybody.
Happy Sunday. We are back with 25 things that we've learned in the last 25 years of marriage. Today we are on video number 23. Today we're going to be talking about planning for what's important. And your mind might naturally go to something like making sure you have a will and making sure you have life insurance. And yes, all that stuff is important. We're kind of coming at this from the standpoint of what we did in video number 8, which was unmet expectations. And it's the idea of planning for what's important, communicating with your spouse so that things that are important to you don't go unmet. We talked about how unmet expectations can cause, well, how do you make sure that expectations are met? And we think that planning for what's important has proved to be that in our lives.
Yeah, it's interesting as I think about all of these videos, communication has a lot to do with having a great marriage. So you have got to be able to communicate with each other, even when it's a hard conversation to have. I'm still learning. You don't stop learning. So interesting, I was telling Trent, I said, you know what, Trent? I have learned from doing these videos that Trent's mind is on sex a lot more than I even imagined. I don't know if this is the way most women think. We're not thinking about it as much as they are.
We are. Just being honest, we are. And as we talked about unmet expectations.
I'm curious, put in the comments. I want to know how many men actually really think like that all the time.
So for example, you're going through your day and you're just like, you know what, tonight, this is going to be a night, get me some, yeah. And you get home and you got your plans, you have it all planned out how it's going to work. You get home and that is not anywhere close to what's on her mind. Not even like, are you crazy? After all that I've had to go through today, I did this. That is the last thing that I want to do. So now you're mad because you had this expectation in this plan. She's mad because you're so insensitive and you didn't think about what she maybe had to go through. And it all has to do with unmet or unrealistic expectations. So a suggestion, just how it's worked for us, we have schedule. And there are days when it's just, that's the day. Those are the days, schedule. And I don't have to worry about when it's going to happen, or she doesn't have to worry about it just popping up somewhere, because we know it's at these particular times, and that's going to be it. Don't be greedy. Try and get more on different days. It's like, she can say that to me and I can go, yeah, I'm being greedy. And then I focus on the days that we're supposed to be focused on. If she's saying, nah, I'm not interested, it's like, well, sorry, this is the day, so get interested because this is when it is. And that has worked. It's like, okay, yep, that's the day. I need to make sure my husband's taken care of so that somebody else isn't trying, So scheduling, consider it. Some people think that's not romantic. Oh, it's just, I want it to be more spontaneous. And it's like, well, one person's spontaneity is not the other person's spontaneity. So somebody might be frustrated if you're trying to be spontaneous.
But if that's who you are, y'all need to work that out. Because some people are spontaneous like that and they love that. So you got to even figure out if being spontaneous is working, but you need to figure that out before you get married. If they seem spontaneous and you're like, I don't know, you need to figure that out before you get married. But if you're married to somebody who is spontaneous, you're going to have to get with the program because that's the way they are. You got to meet their needs. If you don't, they'll be spontaneous with somebody else.
Just so that it's not completely focused on sex. Say, for example, I have a thought that I'm expecting a meal. Say, for example, I have a thought. I'm expecting a meal tonight. Get home. She's like, "You're on your own, buddy. This isn't happening." And I'm frustrated again. Well, what we also do is we plan out the meals. We go to the grocery store together, Jell-O, and we make sure that we're planning out the meals. Sunday we're having this. We've got this meal. We've got this meal. We've got this meal. Not necessarily exactly which day is going to be that meal, but we have meals. And she'll say, "Hey, I'm cooking this today. How about this today?" That works. You're on your own today. I've got a plan. So if it's on my own day, I've got salad, I've got a quickie meal that I can put in so that I'm not like, what do I do? What am I going to eat? And it all comes with planning so that expectations are met.
And of course, it's different from person to person. So it could be that your husband is the one that's making the meals. It could be he's the one that's creating the schedule. It could be that you are married to somebody who likes to cook every day.
Good for you.
So it's different from person to person. So make sure that you are creating schedules based on what works for your marriage.
Okay. Scriptures. Right. We got 2 scriptures today because this is, all right.
The scripture for today is Philippians 4:6. And most of us, we know that. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. So, when you're dealing with situations, you feel like maybe your needs aren't being met by your partner, make sure you pray. Communicate with them, but make sure you pray about it before. Because if it's a hard conversation, God will possibly give you some tools and some steps on how to approach them.
And I don't think it's a stretch to say if we need to make our prayers and petitions and requests known to God, we should also think about making our requests known to our spouse so that she knows what I'm expecting, and then I can have the peace that passes understanding because we're on the same page. So maybe a little liberty there with the scripture, but if we need to make our requests known to God, we should make our requests also known to our spouse so that we're on the same page.
Next scripture.
The second scripture.
Psalm 36.
Psalm 37, 4.
That's why I couldn't find it.
All right, wait. I'll make a cut.
You ready?
Nope. All right. So the next scripture.
The next scripture is Psalms 37:4. Take delight in the Lord, and that's a little bit different version. That's the NIV. Oh, the other version.
Okay. Oops. Wait. All right. So the second scripture.
Psalm 37:4. You know this. Delight thyself also in the. That's a little different too. Okay. Psalm 37:4. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thy heart or thine heart. You want me to do it again?
The second scripture that we're going to talk about is
Psalm 37:4. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Psalm 37:4. Okay.
You gonna talk about
so
that?
Of course I'll talk about it. God cares about, us. And so if we delight ourselves in him, he will give us the desires of our heart. So if you're spontaneous, or if you feel like you need, whatever you need, go to God and tell him what you need, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. He may even talk to your wife or your husband before you have to talk to them, because he cares about you that much.
Yep. I use that one a lot. Helps. Let's get through to a go. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. Video
right.
number 23, plan for what's important. It's basically another way to kind of come at managing expectations.
And so the challenge for this week is to manage your expectations. So what are you going to do to manage your expectations? First, before you have this conversation, why don't you have a conversation with God first? Then y'all come together and have a conversation about managing your expectations. You may have never had this conversation before. So it'll be interesting how the conversation goes, just because it might be somewhat new. You may have been married forever, but you never had that conversation.
All right.
All right, y'all have a blessed one. And thank y'all so much for all the people who said happy birthday to me. I appreciate it so much. That little happy birthday just means so much from person to person. I've received some from old students. I've received some, of course, from friends. It's nice to hear from you. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye, everybody.
All right, bye-bye.